Hi, I'm Mike McCormick, live from GBTA studio here in Berlin, and I'm here with Lotten Fowler from SBTA, the Swedish Business Travel Association, our partner in Sweden. Great to see you, great to have you here, of course.
Thank you.
So, interesting times to say the least, in terms of what the marketplace today in Europe. I mean, I don't think we could have more disruption, and if we tried, right? Between Brexit, between marketplace issues, a lot of work on the advocacy front that we've partnered on. But, so let's talk about a few of those topics. One is CRS Code of Conduct. Tell me a bit about that, like what's behind it, and kind of where we are in the process.
Yeah. We're at the moment, there's a public consultation going on in the EU about the CRS Code of Conduct. So they're going to revise it and look at it again. And the reason for this having come up is that some European airlines are what we would say in breach of that Code of Conduct, disturbing the marketplace and discriminating platforms against each other. So we need to take a look at that, and we need to get our members of parliament to raise the issue, because the Commission isn't really acting the way we would want it to.
So challenging times, and again, when we talk about those issues, and we're always focused on transparency, fair competition, and more that I would say in my own words that airlines can, like any other company, can distribute their product however they want. But the question is, the issue is that when they distribute in a channel, they need to provide the information to effectively sell the product, or for the agents and for the corporate buyers in that market to be able to, again, understand what they're buying, have the information, have full transparency, and that's really what's at stake here, right? And very important for our corporate customers.
Yeah. And with all the new technology coming on, it's more important for us than ever to make sure that the transparency stays the way it has been. Right.
Yeah, and it really, again, even strategically, fundamentally, you talk about personalization and say, yeah, it's great for suppliers to be able to communicate with the end user and with the traveler, and again, provide all this great information, but the corporation's paying the bill. And they want to be able to understand what they're buying and what they're paying for and what their travelers are being charged, and or offered, right, as part of that process. Different than when you're buying personally or for, consumer use.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think many of these changes are being driven by consumers and consumer-driven, and for the airline to reach the consumer. But as a corporate travel buyer, you are affected by what happens, and we need to make sure that transparency stays. So in the Nordic region, we've decided next year to launch an effort to mutually communicate with our MEPs to make sure that they raise the issue in Brussels and with the Commission to make some noise, because not enough is happening on this front.
And so where does kind of NDC play into all this? Because it's it makes adds a layer of complexity.
And NDC is. It doesn't play in because it is a standard of a technology, so it shouldn't play in. But some of the airlines are using NDC and new technology as an excuse to do other things, which we aren't very happy about. So NDC as a technology is fine, and we embrace that as long as we have a transparent marketplace.
Right, because again, we want the traveler to have the ability, and on behalf of the company, to even further, customize the product, the offering, the price paid, et cetera, depending on the situation.
NDC is as a standard,
is an enabler. It's great, right?
It's giving the corporation lots of possibilities to package differently from what we've been able to before, and to personalize and customize, as long as we have a neutral platform.
Right. But back to the same issues.
So it's transparency
shopping,
again.
Price comparison, the things that as a corporation you really rely on.
Yeah.
So what beyond this, when you talk to your buyers in the market in Sweden, what are their issues? What are they focused on?
Well, Brexit in Europe is, of course, very
looming
important
large,
for all of
yes,
us
yes.
to understand and stay on top of. Sustainability, and with that, we had a center stage session earlier today with the airlines, where we're discussing single European skies. So single European sky, both when it comes to the environment, but also when it comes to handling some of the delays that we see in Europe, because the airspace is very crowded at the moment. So looking at that is another, it's an issue for a corporate travel buyer. We need to be efficient, we need to be sustainable, and we want to support in what way we can there.
Yeah. Well, and as always, we appreciate the partnership with SBTA.
Well, thank you.
Your leadership there, and I think again, these our ability as an organization to tackle these important advocacy issues are really why we exist. A great part of what we do.
Yep.
But appreciate your energy behind it as well.
Thank you.
Yep. And I'm Mike McCormick, live from GBTA Studios here in Berlin.